I really love the Huawei Mate 50 Pro, and it's a darn shame that one, this doesn't have Google services, and two, that it's not available in the US. Now, it's very difficult to get these. Fortunately, I was able to build a relationship with Huawei, and I met these guys at Mobile World Congress last year in Barcelona. They were kind enough to let me review the Mate XS2, which I love the foldable, and now I reached out and I was like, hey, can I check this out? Because from everything I've seen, it looks amazing on paper, and it also, well, it's supposed to be the best smartphone camera in the world now. It has supposedly supplanted the Pixel 7 Pro by just a hair, and supposedly this is the best. That doesn't surprise me, because if you look back in history, you look at the Huawei, like the P20 Pro, the P30 Pro, the P40, they've always had amazing cameras. Their hardware has always been top notch, and they've always been a company that's made really, really good stuff. Unfortunately, because of all the basically being blacklisted in the US, you can't buy them, sell them here. They can't get Google services. Supposedly there are workarounds for that. I haven't messed with them personally, but I have most of my day-to-day stuff on there. And you can use the app gallery. You can get a lot of stuff. And I've got Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Boom Beach, Twitter, Spotify, Yahoo Mail. I even use Google Chrome as my browser. But the thing is you can't use like Google services. So if you've got stuff that's locked into those accounts or ways that you need to use that stuff, you just can't. But with the app gallery, there's a lot of substitute apps that Huawei has created, or they work with these partners and they've got them in there. So there's not really, here's the thing. You can't use Google services unless you find a workaround for it, which some exist, but there are alternatives that provide the same level of service. So you can still basically do what you want to do. However, that's not the point of this video. This phone is absolutely gorgeous. Now, it comes in a couple different colors. They sent me the orange one. It's like orange and rose gold. This is one of the best pairings that I've seen in a long time. And of course, you got the big camera set up on the back. It's gorgeous. So this is vegan leather, by the way. I don't even know what vegan leather is, but it's got vegan leather. It's got a Snapdragon 8 Plus Generation 1. Starts off with 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. The screen is beautiful, gets nice and bright, has a nice, more aggressive curved edge than you would expect, especially when you kind of look at the way Google Pixel's done it with the Pixel 7 Pro, the way Samsung's done it with the S22 Ultra. It does have a nice curved edge, so it's really nice. It's got a time of flight 3D sensor on the front, 13 megapixel camera. You get better, more secure biometrics with this, with the facial recognition. It's got a 50 megapixel primary shooter, a 64 megapixel telescopic telephoto in here that's capable of reaching out and touching stuff, serious optical zoom in it, which is nice, 3.5 times, and you get a 13 megapixel ultra wide. It's got a full complement of camera stuff on here. Now, the unfortunate reality that I've had to deal with ever since I got this a few days ago, it's been gloomy, it's been rainy, it's just not a good time to take pictures, so I don't really have any samples to share right now. This is just kind of my initial, I really like it. It's some seriously good hardware. Nice tight package. They made this well. It looks great. Even though it's got the iPhone S kind of notch up there, it does have that time of flight sensor, so you get better biometrics, but you also get better bokeh. You get more true to life bokeh shots on here, and I've shot a couple of those. I gotta say, it looks good. Now, again, I'm supposed to get some sunshine here in the next few days, so when I come back and do my full review on this, I'm actually going to do a camera comparison. I'm going to do a Pixel 7 Pro versus Huawei Mate 50 Pro, and I want to show off and highlight some of the stuff. Now, I think what you get with the Huawei, especially the way that it's set up, the hardware-wise, I think you get a little bit more brute force from the actual camera hardware, maybe just a slight less reliance on the computational photography. So I think whenever you talk about the Pixels, some people like them, some people don't. They are very good. But a lot of people don't like that over-processed kind of, you can tell. Like there's, sometimes you look at a more natural photo, you look at like something that Sony puts out with theirs, they rely more on the camera, the lens, the sensor, the hardware, so much so than the computational photography and that over-processed look. Some people don't care, some people do, but you get a little bit more of that with the Huawei, I think, than you do with the Pixel. So it'll be nice to see both of them. But overall, I mean, here's the thing. In 2023, especially when you're looking at a flagship phone, it's really hard to get a bad camera, right? They all take such good photos now. We've been seeing good photos come out of phones for years. So the biggest thing is like, okay, we'll add astrophotography. We'll do the 100 times zoom like Samsung does so you can take pictures of the moon easily. Or we'll add in other stuff that you can do. So it's like better low light and things like that. The image signal processors nowadays, it's like so much so, it's kind of trying to find a good balance between computational photography and true hardware and true camera prowess. But yeah, Huawei does a great job. I really like this. It's got a 4700 milliamp battery, which I found to be okay. It has 66 watt wired charging, 50 watt wireless charging, and then 5 watt reverse wireless charging. So you can do that as well. And it's even got IP68 dust and water resistance. Those are two things that you don't get with a lot of other phones. You look at some of the Xiaomi's, look at some of the Pocos, the Redmi's, and look at some of the Oppo or OnePlus phones. They'll have some of that stuff, but they don't necessarily have all those characteristics. A lot of times you won't see the IP68 or even IP67. You won't see reverse wireless charging, or you won't see wireless charging. And Huawei is like the Samsung of the Chinese phone manufacturers. They are super top shelf premium, throw all that stuff in there. So you get all of that. It's got a beautiful OLED screen, billion colors, 120 hertz refresh rate. So you get all the bells and whistles. When it comes to connectivity, it's got Bluetooth, it's got NFC, so you can do your wireless contactless payments, and there's no 5G. And that's one of the limitations they have with their phones, no 5G experience, which is not the end of the world. I hope that at some point in time they can start having 5G antennas, even though this has the Snapdragon processor and it's got a Snapdragon 8 Plus Generation 1. Very, very good chipset, very balanced, good power, good efficiency. It's got a leg up over like the S22 series phones that just have the 8 Generation 1, more prone to heat and battery. And this one is better in that department. But yeah, it's only got 4G LTE. It does have band 66. It doesn't have band 71, which I wish it had. But I'm using Red Pocket Mobile. I've used Mint Mobile, T-Mobile with it. It works in the US. And I'm able to get a pretty good signal with it. So not the end of the world, it doesn't have 5G. But that is a trade-off, and at some point in time, hopefully they can integrate those into their phones, because that's kind of the way of the future. We don't want to be in like 2025 and using a phone that's got 4G LTE. We want 5G, right? So overall, really impressed so far. I like this phone a lot, and my first experience in a long time with Huawei was with the Mate XS2. Absolutely loved it. And then this one, man, everything about this phone is nice. It's premium. It looks gorgeous. It feels great. As far as accessories, you're going to have to look around. There are accessories on Amazon. I need to get a case for it. It is kind of slippery, especially with this vegan leather on the back and how thin it is and everything. It's nice because of the curved edge screen. It has pretty good ergonomics. But yeah, I do worry about dropping it, especially because it's not a cheap phone. It's over $1,000. But yes, I'm excited about this phone. I like it a lot. And it's just been such a nice change of pace. Yes, it's nice to use Samsung. It's nice to use Google. It's nice to use all these other brands. But getting something that truly is a really good premium flagship experience with the Mate 50 Pro, I like it a lot, and I can't wait to test out the camera with some nice sunshine and go out and do some camera comparison. Again, I'm going to compare it with the Pixel 7 Pro, and we'll see and get your guys' feedback and see what you think is actually the best smartphone camera in the world. And of course, here's another thing. The S23 is coming. So I'm going to get the S23 Ultra. It's going to be announced on February the 1st. It's supposed to have the Samsung's new sensor, their new 200 megapixel camera, and the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. It's going to be the best and the brightest in the world for quite a while. So looking at that, I'm also going to do some comparison stuff with that, because I think it's interesting to compare. Look what we get with the East versus the West, the Huawei Mate 50 Pro versus the S23 Ultra. I think it'll be an exciting video, and I'm excited about the prospect of making it, because that's going to be a cool video with some high quality technology there. But yeah, I just want to bring this to you guys, show it off. It's beautiful, and it's just a really, really nice looking phone. Aesthetically, they did a good job with this. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, and please go to the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you want to see more of this stuff, if you're interested in seeing these kind of off-brand phones, not really off-brand, but it's not really available here in the US, and let me know. Sound off in the comments section. And if you like the video, hit the like and the subscribe button, little notification bell, all that stuff. If you want updates when new videos come out, because I put out videos every single day. It's true. That's what I do. So that's all I got. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.